particularly men. I don't think men do a good enough job of letting women know when they suck. And a lot of times they do, right? And it's so bullshit. One of my homegirls told me today, just today, right? She's like, you know what? It doesn't matter. You could correct a woman. And you know what happens? She gonna go home and talk to like 10 of her girlfriends. And they're all gonna validate it and say, nope, I shouldn't have handled that like that. Yeah, I wouldn't have went about it that way. He's corny, whatever. And then what's even worse?
When you were talking, Becky, like I'm thinking about you said guarding. A lot of y'all said that. Wouldn't you only be apprehensive as far as being fearful or guarded if you're aligned or trying to align with someone that you may potentially believe is, I hate to say it for lack of a better term, out of your league? Like,
I don't think so. I think people tend to be guarded just in general, right? Because like I said, you look at, let's say you're a woman and you're dating somebody who, I don't know, works in HR, something, right? And even though you know that HR person is cool or whatever, you can look and see, oh, on the internet, they're talking about divorce rates being high. So-and-so, you know, a bunch of people who've been cheated on and have gotten divorced. You see all these issues and instances, and it's not because that person's values might not align with yours and all the things. It's literally you're seeing what's around you and you're saying, what if that happens to me, right? There's plenty of people who say, oh, I never saw it coming. And so I think those, like the anticipation of a negativity is what stops a lot of people, even if they do align in all the areas that they're supposed to. And I don't think it's about being out of your league. I think, the average people are dating people within their league, to be honest. I think most people are dating people within their.
Could also be doubt.
But where does doubt come from? To True's point, where does the doubt come from?
Thank you, Fresh. That's
It could be doubt that's within themselves. Like they doubt themselves. Could be that alone.
Right. Walk it down.
That's what I'm saying. Expand upon it. Like,
right. Like some people will really sit there and ask the question, like, am I capable of, being fully committed to this relationship, or do I truly? And sometimes they take it and they project it on someone else. It's like, okay, well, I don't know if I'm fully committed, fully able to commit to this relationship. So maybe that person isn't really fully committed to this relationship either, because that's how they're feeling about themselves, and it's a projection.
Yeah, but a projection. Go ahead, True.
That's fair, but again, this is my assumption. Typically, people seem to operate in this space when there's something that they value that's maybe larger, or maybe is perceived of a higher value. Most folks aren't tripping on trivial stuff. So if we're talking about aligning romantically, where that apprehension would come from wouldn't make sense to me if you believe that you were aligned. If you are in the same similar bracket of development, education, whatever you deem worthy, where is the extended fear, doubt, and all these other things coming from? Unless you perceive that there is freaking Willie, unless you perceive that there's something that you can't maybe control or maybe handle. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, if like when people say something like he ain't going nowhere or she ain't going nowhere, like that's a statement of absolute comfortability and security. So you don't normally have those moments of doubt or self-sabotage in those positions. When you feel like this person may potentially go somewhere because they may have some more value that I haven't necessarily said anything about outwardly, but I feel it, that's what we're saying, where it could possibly come from.
Toya, you on mute?
Who is this picture that Willie got up on the background?
That's just a screensaver.
Yeah, no, this is the queen of the hyena bitches. Like the pack of hyenas that have frequented the panel. This is the head hyena bitch in charge. I just use her as a placeholder, so keep y'all in line when I'm gone.
Who was that?
Hey, we're not gonna go too deep. We're not gonna go too deep into that. We're going, yeah. If you know, you know. If you don't, there's such a thing as back chat, or maybe someone in the chat.
Back chat. Put it in the back chat.
Because like when I hear, like, okay, I'll talk about the men for a second. When I hear men verbalize I hope she don't go nowhere, or I gotta work overtime to keep her. It's because they operating on the fact that they feel potentially that they struck gold, or they caught her in a season where maybe she was down bad, but he really is batting out of his league. And again, I hate that terminology, but for lack of a better term.
No,
And I think on the reverse side, it's the same thing. Now, women don't typically admit it out loud, but they align with some dudes that they can't keep up with, but they will die before they actually admit this.
Situation,
it's just not situationship, whichever. But you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to figure out. If you really are, you feel deserving of this person, where's the apprehension coming from? Like, where's you earned it, right?
So,
you put in the work, you're valuable. Where I don't get it.
It's a scary thing, right? It's almost like, I mean, and there's a lot of people who punch outside of their weight class because people have ambition, and sometimes they might get lucky and run into something and might have a chance for something, depending on the time, depending on if they're person on rebound or not, depending on who they were introduced to them by. But the problem is you have to keep up with that maintenance. It's almost like I went for broke and bought a Lambo, right? I had $300,000. I spent $298,000 on a Lambo. Now, when I need an oil change, I'm in a hole. I can't maintain that shit. I can't keep up with it. It's fast as hell. I could barely drive it, and I damn sure can't insure it or maintain it. When that bitch need oil change, it's over for me. And that's a scary thing. A lot of people do punch outside of the weight class, and there's a lot of people who are going to compete with that. And are you going to be able to become and maintain that level of competitiveness throughout your life and understand that people are going to constantly be slipping there? They're like, oh, you don't want that. You don't want that. All the Kia boys is out trying to grab your shit on a regular basis, and you really can't do anything about it. At some point, somebody's going to snatch it because it wasn't yours in the first place. And I don't think that that's valid. I think people should understand and be aware of where their weight class is, where they stand in the sexual marketplace. I think that a lot of us are in denial. Sometimes we don't understand what our actual value is. So sometimes we overbid, sometimes we underbid, right? But I think that you have to be honest with yourself. And that's why I say people should be honest with each other, because you'd have a better idea of where you are. I don't think, particularly men, I don't think men do a good enough job of letting women know when they suck. And a lot of times they do, right? And it's so bullshit. One of my homegirls told me just today, right? And she's like, you know what? It doesn't matter. You could correct a woman. And you know what happens? She gonna go home and talk to like 10 of her girlfriends. And they're all gonna validate it and say, nope, I shouldn't have handled that like that. Yeah, I wouldn't have went about it that way. He's corny, whatever. And then what's even worse is the next 10 dudes that she talked to is going to sit there dirty macking and talk about how he was bullshit for it and not be bold enough to tell that woman that, no, you were full of shit, just so he can get a little closer to a sniff of pee. And I think that when we start to perpetuate it and exercise goofy shit like dirty macking, I have zero respect for men like that. And I don't even want to coexist with men like that, but it's a reality. And this is one of the major things. We don't tell people where they are. We're so afraid to be honest with people. We're so afraid of what this person is going to think or say or not want to fuck us anymore that we literally can't be honest with them and tell them where they actually stand. And then we wonder why people are delusional when half of the people perpetuating it are us, by constantly offering attention to people who don't deserve it. That shit is crazy. And I think we're gonna have to do a better job at
I take great pride in being a balance keeper in this regard, because I don't let my kids slide when they suck. You think I'm about to let a woman slide that I'm dating? Like, baby girl bring me something like, daddy, I made this. Like, that's ugly, but thank you, I love it anyway. You think I'm not gonna tell my girl, like, hey, I need you to be a little less rah and fucking friendly? Like, men definitely need to start speaking up more and stop just taking shit from women, because at the end of the day, if you weren't at least somewhat him, she wouldn't be fucking with you in the first place. Like, she's not doing you a favor. Like,
I think we also do a poor job of actually representing what it is that we do, like, and it'll begin to get taken for granted. So folks will become entitled with all of the good things that we do, and we don't really talk about it because naturally as men, it's like, yeah, I do all that, and you try to play it cool like it's nothing to me. It might have actually really been something to you. It might have took you a lot of time and a lot of work and a lot of thought, but you play it off and play it cool. But if they become entitled to that, now you have to go back and give them a reality check. And that's actually on your doing for just trying to play it cool. I've definitely done that before.